Hi friends! I have another fun book with me, but you may have seen a movie called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, so I thought it would be fun to read a book called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Has anybody ever seen that movie before? I saw it a while back, but I really like the book. Let's get started, and then I think I may have a song that'll come after that's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. We were all sitting around the big kitchen table. It was Saturday morning, pancake morning. Mom was making orange juice, and Henry and I were betting on how many pancakes we could eat. Grandpa was flipping the pancakes. Seconds later, a pancake flew through the air, headed towards the kitchen ceiling, and landed right on Henry. We all laughed, even Grandpa. All the other pancakes landed in the pan. We ate all of them, even the one that landed on Henry. That night, Grandpa told us the best bedtime story ever. He said the flying pancake made him think of it. Across an ocean, over lots of huge bumpy mountains, over 3 hot deserts and 1 smaller ocean, lay the tiny town of Chew and Swallow. Chew and swallow. Like, chew and swallow. In most ways, it was like any other tiny town. It had a main street and stores, houses and trees and gardens and a school, but about 300 people and some cats and dogs. But there were no food stores in the town of Chew and Swallow. They didn't need any. The only thing that was really different about Chew and Swallow was its weather. It came 3 times a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Everything that everyone ate came from the sky. It never rained rain, and it never snowed snow, and it never blew just wind. It rained things like soup and juice. It snowed mashed potatoes and green peas, and sometimes the wind blew up storms of hamburgers. Every morning, people watched the weather report on TV to find out what they would eat that day. They would even hear a prediction for the next day's food. When the townspeople went outside, they carried their plates and cups and spoons and forks with them. That way, they would be ready for any kind of weather. If there were leftovers, the people took them home and put them in the refrigerator in case they got hungry between meals. By the time they woke up in the morning, breakfast was coming down. First, there was a shower of orange juice. Then low clouds of sunny-side-up eggs moved in, followed by pieces of toast. Peanut butter and jelly sprinkled down for the toast, and most of the time, it rained milk afterwards. For lunch one day, frankfurters on a roll blew in. That's like a hot dog. From the northwest at about 5 miles per hour. There were mustard clouds nearby. Then the wind shifted to the east and brought in baked beans. A drizzle of soda finished off the meal. For dinner one night, there were lamb chops, becoming heavy at times with occasional ketchup. Periods of peas and baked potatoes were followed by a gradual clearing with a wonderful jello setting in the west. The sanitation department of Chew and Swallow had to remove the food that fell on the houses and sidewalks and lawns. The workers cleaned things up after every meal and fed all the cats and dogs. Life for the townspeople was delicious, until the weather took a turn for the worse. Spaghetti ties up town. One day there was nothing but sticky cheese to eat all day. The next day there was only broccoli, all overcooked. And the next day was Brussels sprouts with peanut butter and mayonnaise. Another day, there was a pea soup fog. No one could see where they were going. They could barely find the rest of the meal. They got stuck in the fog. The food was getting larger and larger. One Tuesday, there was a hurricane of bread and rolls all day long and into the night. There were soft rolls and hard rolls, white bread and wheat bread, whole wheat toast. No one had ever seen such big slices of bread or large rolls before. It was a terrible day. Everyone had to stay indoors. The mess took the sanitation workers 4 days to clean up. To help out, people piled up as much stale bread as they could in their backyards. It stayed there for a long time. There was a storm of pancakes one morning and a downpour of maple syrup that nearly flooded the town. A huge pancake covered the school, and no one could get to school. Lunch one day brought 15-inch drifts of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Everyone ate themselves sick, and the day ended with a stomach ache. There was an awful salt and pepper wind, followed by an even worse tomato tornado. People were sneezing themselves silly. Sanitation department gave up. The job was too big. Everyone feared for their lives. They couldn't go outside most of the time. Some houses had been hit by giant meatballs. So they decided to leave the town of Chew and Swallow. They had to. The people made rafts out of giant pieces of stale bread, glued together with peanut butter, and set sail for the new land. After sailing for a week, they reached a small, friendly town. They built houses for themselves out of their rafts. The children began school again, and the adults found jobs. The biggest change they had to make was getting used to buying their food in a supermarket, a grocery store. Nothing came down from the sky except for rain and snow. The clouds above their heads weren't made of fried eggs. No one ever got hit by a hamburger again. No one dared to go back to Chew and Swallow to find out what happened to it. They were too afraid. The end. Oh, Henry and I were awake until the very end of Grandpa's story. I remember his goodnight kiss. The next morning, we woke up to see snow falling outside our window. We ran downstairs for breakfast and ate it a little faster than usual so that we could go sledding with Grandpa. It's funny, but even as we were sliding down the hill, we thought we saw a giant scoop of butter at the top, and we could almost smell mashed potatoes. That looks like mashed potatoes, doesn't it? I'd eat those mashed potatoes up. The end. Kind of a silly book, wasn't it? It makes me think of if all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops. Oh, what a rain that would be. I'd stand outside with my mouth open wide. Ah, 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 ah. If all the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops. Oh, what a rain that would be. If all the raindrops were cupcakes and milkshakes. Oh, what a rain that would be. I'd stand outside with my mouth open wide. Ah, 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 ah. If all the raindrops were cupcakes and milkshakes. Oh, what a rain that would be. That would be a fun rain, wouldn't it? I hope you guys are having a great day. See you soon.